to Bad Movie Beatdown. Today I'm rectifying an old mistake. Yes, long-time viewers of my show might recall a time when I used to write reviews in article form back from 2008 to 2010. One of the films I reviewed was the sequel Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, and I gave it a positive review. A 3.5 out of 5 to be precise. Yeah, I was having a really off day when I reviewed that one. Even my review doesn't sound that positive. But on any other level, does it really hold together? No, it's like gorging on sweets and candy. Fun, yes, but nutritionally a bit dubious and leaves you with a desire to throw up. It's just more the same. If you pay to see this, then you know exactly what you're paying for. I'm man enough to accept when I'm wrong, and I was in this case. We're human and fallible, so we do get things wrong occasionally.
Shut the fuck up, hypocrite!
Oh, I had a feeling that was gonna happen.
Hey, listen, your opinion is entirely void on this point. Good God, man! You suggested you preferred it over Inglourious Bastards! Who the fuck do you think you are? That's like picking Michael Bay over Oliver Stone. You are dead to me.
Yeah, well, you like 2012.
Yeah, but I'm never wrong.
That was just as much of a CGI wank fest.
Oh yeah? Yeah, well, you're a limey poop hole.
Really? Did I hurt your feelings? Are you gonna hit me with a chair again?
Well, wait a minute. Actually, no, because you didn't write that in the script.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, finish up your cameo.
Alright, dude, okay. Back in character. This conversation is over, Limey!
Bye, Spoonie! Actually, come to think of it, wrong is the incorrect word to use. Opinion is subjective, and just because you disagree with someone's opinion on something like a film doesn't mean you can abuse them for it. I think this is due to movies becoming like pop culture property, so people take it far too personally when a beloved favourite is attacked. Listen, I do this show for fun, and I do it to entertain you. It doesn't matter if you agree with my opinions so long as you're being entertained by them. Transformers Revenge of the Fallen is a 2009 sequel to the hit film Transformers. What did I make of the original movie? It was a flawed but fun summer blockbuster. I even got it in a DVD case shaped like Optimus Prime! I should mention, by the way, that I'm a child of the 90s, so I grew up just a little bit too late for the Transformers craze, and therefore purely taking these movies based on their own merits. I know people that feel differently about the movie. Fuck you! But I certainly don't know many people willing to stand up for its immensely dumb sequel. It was made during the 2008 writers' strike, which meant that much of the script was actually written by director Michael Bay himself, although he's not credited for it. So that means that Bay shoulders most of the blame here, as both the writing and directing flaws can be laid at his egotistical feet. But enough build-up. Let's dig into Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, which is the first time I've seen it since the theatrical release. So the film starts in 17,000 BC as Optimus Prime, voiced by Peter Cullen, narrates. Yes, in the first minute you're reminding me of shitty Roland Emmerich movies. Not a good start. It turns out that the Transformers have actually been around longer than first thought, including the titular Fallen, voiced by Tony Todd. To be fair, it is as realistic as anything you'll see in 10,000 BC. Yeah, if you were crushed under a giant robot, I don't think you'd be in quite that good a shape. We move to Shanghai in present day 2 years after the previous film. The Autobots, the good robots, have teamed up with British and American soldiers to form a secret team called Nest, which tracks down the remaining Decepticons, the bad robots. They've tracked Demolisher to a factory and it soon attacks and retreats as soon as it sees the soldiers coming. Actually, come to think of it, what risk do the Decepticons pose if they've just been hiding this entire time? It doesn't seem like Demolisher was actually bothering anyone until a bunch of soldiers came after it.
We got a second Decepticon.
Who? What? Where? What is going on? So yes, a second Decepticon, Sideways, drives away from the scene with several Autobots in pursuit. I couldn't actually tell you who any of them are. I only know Sideways because of the Wikipedia synopsis, and there's no attempt to even establish any of the minor robots apart from each other. Sideswipe skates in and takes out Sideways by slicing him in two. So not only did that Decepticon not do anything, evil or otherwise, but having two robots with very similar names isn't helping matters. Back with Demolisher, he's heading towards downtown Shanghai, so the soldiers call in the Autobot leader Optimus Prime. His entrance in the film is a calculated attempt to get the geek audience to fangasm in their pants as he is dropped out of a cargo plane, transforms in midair, and parachutes to the ground before going back into disguise as the music swells heroically. Call me stupid, but it's not exactly stealthy to drop a 30-foot robot out of a plane in the middle of a city. I think someone might notice. I do have to wonder, what is the point of transforming into a big rig when literally 10 seconds later he transforms back again to wrestle Demolisher? A perfect example of excessive special effects. Optimus quickly takes out Demolisher with a few shots to its wheels, causing it to crash.
Any last words?
This is not your planet to rule. The fallen shall rise again.
That doesn't sound good.
Really? I thought the Fallen was the bearer of hugs and kisses. Optimus executes Demolisher as we move to the Witwicky house, where Sam, played once again by Shia LaBeouf, is getting ready to move out to college. And his parents are also back, and more annoying than ever.
Look what I found. It's your little baby booties. One little baby booty. Boy, you can't go.
Would you let the kid breathe, for crying out loud? Come on, go pack. There's no way you're packed for a month-long trip. Come on.
I love it when you call me young lady. You dirty old man.
No, you ain't seen nothing yet.
I love how Sam's mum went from crying to flirting within 30 seconds of screen time. That's great character writing.
Mojo, no dominating Frankie.
Because that's what this 150-minute Hasbro commercial needed. More dog humping. Which brings us to the film's sex object, love interest, Michaela, played by Megan Fox. I've never got the appeal of Megan Fox. She's like a computer-generated facsimile of what a man's ideal woman looks like, and has absolutely no appeal beyond her looks.
You think I'm shallow?
No. I think there's a lot more than meets the eye with you.
More than meets the eye? Yeah, right. She has no personality and acting qualities that can barely even be defined as wooden. And let's not even forget what happens when she opens her stupid mouth. Although judging by her recent career choices, yeah, those 15 minutes are officially up. As he's talking to Michaela on the phone, he tries to pack the clothes he wore at the climax of the previous movie. A piece of the Allspark that somehow got caught on his shirt falls out, and when he picks it up, it imprints alien knowledge onto his brain. How would a piece of the Allspark be caught on Sam's shirt? It's a bit like the alien pod in Alien 3. There's no way for it to get there! Sam drops it and the fragment burns through the floor into the kitchen, where it turns the household appliances into bloodthirsty gremlins. Oh, I wish. Because it was vitally important that we need to break up the tension of that scene. Michael, I don't care if it's PG-13. There's still kids watching. Cut that shit out! The appliances start to attack Sam.
What is all the racket?
Sam, what have I told you about machine gun fire in the house? Luckily, Sam's pet Autobot, Bumblebee, comes to his rescue by blowing up the robots. And Sam's bedroom in the process, it seems.
Get in the garage. I'm about to have a nervous breakdown. Just go in the garage quietly, please.
That's a bad Bumblebee! How dare you save my life! Michaela arrives and Sam gives her the fragment to keep hold of before going to speak with Bumblebee.
Yeah, you know you're in trouble.
You still having voice problems?
Just playing it up.
Nice of them to retcon that bit of character development.
B, I want to talk to you about the college thing, okay? I'm so excited! I'm not taking you with me. Here's the thing. Freshmen aren't allowed to have cars. I know, if it was up to me, I'd take you with me, but it's not.
This is the weakest, lamest possible explanation for why Sam can't take Bumblebee with him. And even if he couldn't park it on the campus, it's a robot car. I think it can park itself.
The Guardian thing is done. Look, I'm safe now. You need to go be with Optimus Prime and the others.
Done? Do you not remember a second ago when Bumblebee just saved your bacon? Oh right, it was completely pointless. Forget it happened. Oh, and Bumblebee cries too. Yes, really. Outside, Michaela gets into a dress to propose to Sam. This is absolutely not an excuse to have Megan Fox strip off. No siree. Ah, the joys of true love. Well, at least until he dumps that bitch for What's Her Face in the sequel. Truly theirs is a romance for the ages. Next, return home to America, where a nosy government official named Galloway has been ordered to investigate.
Gotta wonder. God made us in his image. Who made him?
A bunch of mechanical transforming robots kind of defeats the notion of a god in the first place.
If it makes you feel any better, my existence only disproves traditional notions of the Abrahamic Judeo-Christian God, as well as all one-world theologies. That's all I meant.
Galloway interrupts Major Lennox, played by Josh Duhamel, as he is in a video chat with his commanding officer.
We know that the enemy leader, Megatron, is resting in peace at the bottom of the Laurentian Abyss. We also know that the only remaining piece of your alien allspark is locked here on one of the most secure naval bases in the world.
Why are you even delivering this clunky expository dialogue when both of you know this knowledge already? I mean, besides the fact that Soundwave has hijacked a satellite and is lapping up every word you say. It's incredible! The movie has actually made clunky expository dialogue a plot point! Galloway wonders why there are any Decepticons remaining on Earth, suggesting that they are staying here to hunt the Autobots. What? Does he think that when the Autobots leave, the Decepticons will pack their bags too? Doubtful. Elsewhere, Sam goes to college and meets his roommate, Leo.
You want this side or that side?
That side.
I already chose that side.
This is the awkward moment. See, you're trying to see if I'm a normal guy. I won't steal anything.
Including girlfriends.
Especially girlfriends.
You got a girlfriend?
I do. You?
You don't have to tell that you're normal. You don't have this conversation. Oh, and the student bedroom has an IT room complete with a giant Mountain Dew vending machine. Speaking from experience, a student dorm room that you can walk around in, let alone fit a vending machine in, is considered to be a luxury. So Leo is one of Bay's signature wacky characters, and he runs a website that tries to leak out information about the secret Transformers footage that the government is trying to keep covered up. Yes, the government is somehow keeping giant 30-foot robots fighting in the middle of cities a secret. Somehow. Somehow I would have thought that covering up the fight at the end of the original Transformers would be nigh on impossible. It's even less believable they'd be able to cover up the huge up that occurred in China, especially considering there are certainly civilian fatalities. Also, in an age of camera phones and YouTube, people would have uploaded that shit in seconds. Why even keep the presence of Transformers secret? What good does that serve? What threat do they provide to national security, especially after several open public fights? What's that? You want more wackiness? No problem!
Oh, I got this at the bake sale for the environment that those boys are having.
They baked it with reefer in it.
Hey, it's my cheat day. I can eat what I want.
I'm gonna freak out. Please do something right now, Dad.
I thought this was a movie about giant fighting robots, not shit my mum does.
You already have one!
You know, if you're gonna do a weed joke, at least know what the effects of weed are. Soundwave sends a bunch of Decepticons to steal the other shard fragment from the US military base. Despite it being hidden on one of the most secure military installations in the world, the Decepticons break in and steal the shard in roughly 3 minutes of screen time. So much for the competency of the US military. Back in college, Sam goes to a party, while Michaela is dismayed to see that Sam is not on Skype. How dare Sam not be online all the time? And if it was an arranged date, then maybe you should have established that properly. Sam starts seeing alien code, which attracts the attention of Alice, a fellow student, played by Isabel Lucas.
I want to dance.
I'm in a relationship, kind of.
Oh, relax. I just want to have some fun. So how about tonight you pretend I'm your girlfriend, and I pretend that you're my boyfriend?
Absolutely nothing odd about this, because as we all know, LaBeef rocks the sexy. Bumblebee arrives and Alice follows Sam into the car.
I really don't know what to tell you. This car just has a lot of problems. A lot of...
When are the action scenes going to arrive? I'd rather see them than attempts to recreate the Herbie movies. Certainly this scene takes a darker turn when you realise Isabel Lucas was the one in the car with Shear at the time of his car crash. Bumblebee takes Sam to see Optimus Prime because apparently he wants Sam to make a case for them to stay on Earth. And as usual, it's one of many scenes that go absolutely nowhere. Back to the things that are actually relevant, the Decepticons band together and infiltrate the naval security, diving down to the bottom of the Laurentian Abyss to retrieve and revive Megatron, voiced by Hugo Weaving. Now, the Laurentian Abyss is the deepest point on Earth, or at least according to the Transformers films. The reason they dropped Megatron down there was due to the intense heat and pressure down there. I know this because John Voight said it at the end of the first one. So with that in mind, how did the Decepticons swim down there completely unaffected? Maybe you shouldn't have written yourselves into a corner at the end of the last movie. Oh, and do the math on this. They revive Megatron using the Allspark, but they need to tear apart a Decepticon for parts. 5 Decepticons went down there, they added 1 and they lost 1. What does that add up to?
Con sonar now holds 6 contacts and they're coming up fast.
4 plus 1 apparently equals 6. Nice continuity, guys! Megatron flies to the Decepticon hideout in space where he encounters Starscream.
You left me to die on that pathetic insect planet. Even in death, there is no command but mine.
How are the Decepticons made? Birthed in pods? I guess we know what they use their exhaust pipes for. And by the way, nice job reminding me of Van Helsing. Megatron speaks to his master, the Fallen, who plans his, revenge? They want Sam because he has the knowledge from the Allspark in his head, and they need to kill Optimus.
For millennia, I have dreamed of my return to that wretched planet. Only a Prime can defeat me. Only one remains.
Why can only a Prime defeat the Fallen? I know it's because he's probably the only one strong enough, but please, movie, elaborate! Back in college, Sam is attending his astronomy class, and the professor is played by Rainn Wilson.
Space, time, gravity. Finish that for me.
Ew! Why are teenage girls falling over Rainn Wilson? And why is Rainn Wilson after teenage girls? Yes, it's another wacky character who speaks entirely in sexual innuendos. Luckily, the plot intervenes as Sam breaks down and starts seeing the symbols everywhere.
Yes, Samuel.
Hello? Michaela, something just happened to me, okay?
What, you finally hit puberty?
No, stop laughing. This is serious.
She's not laughing, nor does she seem to be applying sarcasm, or enthusiasm for that matter. Meanwhile, a spy working for the Decepticons, Wheelie, voiced by Tom Kenny doing a 30s gangster impression, tries to steal the Allspark fragment from Michaela. Apparently he didn't get the memo they didn't need it anymore since they revived Megatron. Actually, come to think of it, how come they can't use the knowledge from the Allspark piece used to revive Megatron? Good God, I'm overthinking this.
And have any strangers given you anything suspicious to carry on today?
Yeah, live bomb!
No.
Good. Yeah, somehow I doubt that will pass through the X-ray scanner. In fact, everyone seems to be converging onto Sam all of a sudden, as Autobots, Nest and Decepticons are all on the way, while he scribbles down the symbols all over his room. Bae, was the Bad Boys 2 poster really necessary? Alice once again starts making a move, and it turns out she's got a bit of a sting in the tail. Michaela walks in at an awkward moment, but soon discovers that Alice is a Decepticon. How is that even possible? Yes, I know she's meant to be a pretender, but you can't just drop that into your movie with no explanation! When did the Transformers start copying human forms? How do they do it? Is it like Selena in Men in Black 2? How did it even manage to apply for a place in college? And if she was a Decepticon this entire time, wouldn't Bumblebee have a bit more of a reaction to it than just a wacky slapstick sequence? More than meets the eye, the more I see, the more the plot unravels under the weight of its own bullshit. So Alice chases Sam, Michaela and Leo, who has been dragged along for the ride. Michaela drives the car away and manages to crush Alice, destroying it. However, the trio are soon captured by the Decepticons, who fly their car to an abandoned warehouse. Yeah, good luck getting the information after you just killed them. But no, they're all still alive, and Megatron captures Sam with the intent of getting the knowledge in his head. But before the audience can cheer at the prospect of Sam getting a lobotomy, Optimus bursts in to fight the Decepticons. And so we get another one of Bae's OTT action scenes, and it seems to revel in having the camera too close to the action and frequently moving around. The result is not so much excitement as disorientation. It's a real struggle to work out what is happening in proximity to each other. Optimus picks up Sam and Bumblebee picks up Leo and Michaela. Optimus takes Sam to a forest and the fight continues, with Megatron, Starscream and another Decepticon chasing Sam. Optimus looks like he's getting his ass handed to him, but not for long.
Is the future of our race not worth a single human life? You'll never stop at one. I'll take you all on!
Woo! It's another calculated fangasm moment! Yep, Optimus takes on all 3 Decepticons and manages to kill the one who the audience doesn't have a clue about. You know, the grey one! Oh wait, they're all grey. Never mind. First of all, way to shamelessly copycat Optimus's famous death in the animated movie. Real points for originality. Secondly, Bay has no balls and he certainly wouldn't kill off the star of the franchise. And third, even if Bay did, do you really think he'd kill off Prime permanently by getting stabbed in the back like a wuss? It's painfully obvious that Optimus Prime will return. It's a calculated fangasm of a different kind. It's designed to exploit the fans' scars of Optimus's death in the 80s for some unearned sentiment. With the last Prime defeated, the Decepticons start taking over the Earth. Hey, I've seen that shot before! That was used in the first movie when the Autobots arrived, you cheat! Starscream and Megatron have lost Sam, so they turn to different measures. The Fallen makes an ultimatum to the world. Turn over Sam, or they will end the world. They also capture Sam's parents whilst they are on holiday in France.
Can you come all the way across the ocean to eat a plate of snails?
Looks like Canadian goose poop.
It's nasty.
No wonder the French hate us. Enough with the comic relief. It's constantly undercutting the drama. Oh no, don't kill them. I love them so much. Things are just as bad for Nest.
Your Nest team's deactivated, Major. I have operational command now. An alien blood feud has been brought to our shores for which our soldiers are paying the price. This is our war now, and we will win it as we always have. With a coordinated military strategy.
Blah, blah, blah. War in the Middle East allegory. Blah, blah, blah.
I really don't like that dude. He's an asshole.
Thanks for clarifying, Tyrese. I didn't get that impression by myself. Bumblebee, Leo, Michaela, Sam, and Skids and Mudflap now have to work out what their next move is. These are, by far, the most hated and despised part of the movie, and there's a bloody good reason for that.
What are we gonna do with this shrimp taco?
Just bump a cap in his ass, throw him in the truck, and then nobody gonna know nothing, not me.
I had a bit of a mild panic attack earlier, right?
That's because you a pussy.
Yet, it's Michael Bay scraping the bottom of the barrel for lowest common denominator humour, and as it turns out, that leads to ugly places like racism. If you saw the first film, you know that Bay likes to cast black actors like Anthony Anderson and Bernie Mac to play broad, morally dubious stereotypes.
So the attitude is not going to speed things up any bit at all.
They're not just annoying, they're offensive. I feel really uncomfortable saying this, but it almost borders on blackface, really.
Can you read this?
No, we don't really do much reading.
Illiterate gold-tooth-wearing stereotypes speaking Ebonics. Maybe I'm overstating the connection.
Yakko! What? You don't get Christmas bonuses standing around. You want those new teeth you saw in Sky Mall?
It's like green.
Well, that pretty much settles it. Bay uses racial prejudice and stereotypes as the basis of his humour. What a vile human being. So Sam, Michaela and Leo track down Robo-Warrior to a deli where he turns out to be Simmons, who worked for the now defunct secret agency Sector 7 in the last movie, and played once again by John Turturro.
What you're about to see is top secret. Do not tell my mother.
He lives with his mother. That isn't a tired joke at all. Simmons reveals to them that the symbols that Sam has been seeing match those in ancient ruins all over the world, suggesting that the Transformers have been here in hiding for millions of years.
Your aliens, Agent Mulder, your little green men, arrived here millions of years ago.
The symbols, however, predate the Autobots, so they need a Decepticon to read them. Luckily, Michaela has Wheelie still lying around and is trying to tame him.
That's the language of the primes. I don't read it, but these guys.
This day?
Yeah, Seekers, pal. Oh, they've been here for thousands of years looking for something. Oh, they'll translate those symbols for you.
Despite the fact that he's only a few days old, he somehow knows more than the Autobots do. Maybe he got that knowledge from the Allspark? Possibly? Wheelie tells them where the nearest Seeker is, which is in Washington's Smithsonian Museum.
Hold those.
What is that?
I wear them when I'm in a funk.
Why did you need to show us that? God knows how many nightmares you've given 8-year-olds with your smelly butt crack.
8-year-olds, dude.
Do you remember Remember when John Turturro was a respected actor? He's a Coen Brothers regular, for Christ's sake. But now one moment has destroyed that forever. Congratulations, John. I hope you're proud of yourself. And Simmons isn't the only one with his trousers down, as him and Leo break into the Smithsonian.
Yo, Papa, bad news, bro. Ran out of toilet paper. You got any out here, please?
Sir, the museum is closed.
Thumper dumper, I gotta go, all right?
Balls and crack within 2 minutes of each other, because that's what I sign up for when I go and see a movie called Transformers. So Simmons and Leo tase the guards, but Leo accidentally tases himself too.
What is going on here?
How many times can you get tased in the nuts before you can't have kids?
That would be a funny line if he didn't clearly taser himself in the gut. I don't even understand why they went to that much effort to break in. I mean, Ben Stiller was breaking into the same building the same summer, and he didn't need to tase anyone. Wheelie leads them right to Jetfire, an elderly Decepticon. Why does a robot need a cane? Oh, right, because it's wacky! Jetfire smashes through the Smithsonian doors and where the hell are we? Apparently they just bloody teleported because the Smithsonian does not lead to a grassy field. How the hell did they expect no one to notice when the Smithsonian is a world-famous museum? Luckily for the group, Jetfire has defected to the good side.
It's a choice. So much negativity. Who wants to live a life filled with hate?
You mean you don't have to work for those miserable freaking Decepticons?
Really? Why is it that when the Allspark creates something, it's a rampaging force of evil? Is evil the default program setting?
I'm changing sides, Two Warrior Goddess. Who's your little Autobot? Name's Wheelie. Yeah, say my name.
Bay, can you go more than 5 minutes without a sex joke in your overlong toy commercial? Talk about thinking with his cock. Sam shows Jetfire the symbols, which triggers his memory of the Fallen before teleporting them? He's a plane, isn't he? Why not fly them there? Or is that too logical? Since when have the Transformers been able to teleport? How did Skids, Mudflap and Bumblebee get taken when they weren't at the base of Jetfire? They were clearly next to him, and they were also clearly adding to the last scene as an afterthought. Good to see the direction is rock solid. But then the real reason for this sequence becomes clear. It's a transparent explanation for how Shia LaBeouf injured his hand in his car accident. Have them fly inside Jetfire and have the plane crash. There! Problem solved! No more bullshit teleporting!
Oh my god, what a beautiful face. This would be a perfect moment. Except you landed on my testicles. Please, get off!
With each sex and groin joke, Bay brings society closer to the days of ow my balls. So apparently the film is completely incapable of staying in one place, as we're now in Egypt and Jetfire finally tries to explain anything.
This planet was visited by our race once before. They were on an exploratory mission to harvest energon. Without it, we'll all perish, oxidize and rust like my wretched self!
Let's not get episodic, okay? Beginning, middle, end. Facts, details, condense, plot, tell it.
That's funny coming from you, movie, you rambling, disorganized sack of shit. Jetfire explains how the Decepticons want energon, specifically to power the hatchlings that will never be seen again. There is a hidden weapon built millions of years ago that blows up suns to release energon, and the Fallen wants to destroy our sun with it. To power the weapon, one needs the key, the Matrix of Leadership.
The Prime set out with one rule. Never destroy a planet with life.
As opposed to the universes which didn't have life, so they blew up the suns for them. That's kind of dark when you think about it. The Fallen, the original Decepticon, turned on his fellow Primes, forcing them to hide the Matrix.
They gave their lives to seal the Matrix away in a tomb made of their very own bodies.
How can they do that? Why would they do that? Why not hide it on a different planet? Optimus is a descendant of the Primes, and they need him to defeat the Fallen. And no, they still haven't explained why only a Prime can do this. So they head off to find the cave.
We got cops.
Why is the police chasing them? Do they magically know that Sam is in the car, or did they just break the speed limit? Somehow they managed to hide and evade the police chase. Your guess is as good as mine how they managed to do this besides the magic of editing. They need to ship Optimus's body to Egypt to use the Matrix to resurrect it, and that requires a call.
We're on the worldwide wanted list. Try calling them on base. They'll track you here in seconds.
You're gonna call?
Why would they listen to Simmons? He doesn't work for the government anymore. Simmons calls up Nest, including Lennox and Tyrese Gibson's Epps.
Even if we could figure out a way to get Big Man over there, how is this little kid supposed to bring him back to life?
I don't know, but we gotta trust him.
Don't worry about the potential court-martial. I've got a feeling this is all gonna work out. But watch out, it's time for another wacky comedy scene as the group reach a security checkpoint, and it's manned by an Oompa Loompa. Because, you know, we don't have enough stupid comic relief characters running around already. The checkpoint means that Sam is located and sound waves still intercepting satellite signals informs the other Decepticons. Also on their way is Nest, and I'm not even sure how, because they're supposed to be deactivated. But don't worry, because Bay distracts you with this hilarious scene of Galloway being ejected from the plane. This movie has so little internal continuity, it resembles the demented ramblings of a crack addict. The group eventually arrives at the pyramids in Giza because Egypt is a small country, I think. Sam eventually figures out that Orion's belt, also known as the Three Kings, is actually an arrow pointing to the location of the Matrix. Careful there, guys. I think that might also be the home of the Holy Grail. The movie finally remembers it has robots in it as the twins start fighting, breaking open a passageway before Bumblebee takes care of them and throws them outside. Oh, thank you very much, Bumblebee. The passage reveals the Tomb of the Primes and inside, the Matrix of Leadership. Sam picks it up and it shatters into pieces.
What just happened? He's been wrapped up for 500 years. Air doesn't agree with him.
Yes, of all the moments Babe decided to go realistic, he chose this one. Because God knows you need to start padding at the 100-minute mark as opposed to, you know, building a climax. Determined, Sam places the pieces into a bag just as Nest arrives with Optimus's body and the other Autobots. But Starscream also arrives and begins to attack.
Oh God, please, God,
Shut this guy up, huh?
Please, just let me live, just let me live. All right, that's it.
What has Leo brought to this movie besides whining and screaming? We don't need more of that. We have Shia LaBeouf to do that. If the explosions don't burst your eardrums, the constant yelling will. But Leo seems to recover quickly from being tasered unconscious as the group splits up. Another fine example of the film's rampant discontinuity. Oh, and the movie's put the most annoying characters, Leo, Simmons, Skids and Mudflap, together. That makes it so much easier for the movie to drop a bomb on them, and that way we can be rid of these loathsome pests. Starscream fires an EMP burst, taking out Nest's radios. Speaking of that...
Yes, sir.
Well, what country am I in right now?
I'm in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by donkeys.
How is it that we can't reach our men, but he can reach me from some random Egyptian desert?
Shh! You're pointing out the plot holes. And how the hell did Nest fly all the way to Egypt with apparently no one higher up knowing about it? Megatron arrives and signals the other Decepticons to stop Sam from reviving Prime with the Matrix. Nest prepares for battle. Good thing too, because they've barely done anything since the start of the film. And so begins the film's extremely extended climax, which takes up much of the film's remaining running time. Oh yes, it's going to get very repetitive very quick. Back with Team Infuriating, the Devastator robots, comprised of several construction vehicles put together, start sucking up the landscape like a giant vacuum cleaner. And you can't wait for it to get the dust bugs that the movie considers to be our heroes. That's it, Devastator! Kill them! Kill them all!
I don't want to die! Oh, Kung Fu Grip Boy! You ain't getting me!
Yes! 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 God bless you, movie!
You'll never eat me! I'm gonna bust your face up!
No! Fuck! Fuck! You just ruined the one ray of sunshine! Now you're going to pay!
The only safe place is right under it. Run at it! Run for its feet!
So you plan to run towards the 30-foot suction robot? Good plan! Back with Sam, the movie finally remembers that his parents were kidnapped as Rampage sets up a trap for Sam, using them as bait. But luckily Bumblebee arrives and they have another unintelligible fight scene and Rampage dies. Hurrah! Another Decepticon who I barely have a clue about has been killed. Stuff! I'm sorry, but the robots have barely appeared in their own movie, and you can't just pull out Decepticons and expect us to cheer when they die. They may be recognisable to hardcore fans, but to casual viewers like me, they're just generic action movie red shirts. Having rescued his parents, Sam orders Bumblebee to drive them to safety. Yes, we've had nearly an hour of build-up to exactly one thing. Why bother to integrate them into the story if you're not going to use them? We managed to survive the second half of the first movie without them, thank you very much. Some helicopters fly in, but the Decepticons immediately shoot them down. In America, they finally work out what is happening and deploy reinforcements, resulting in more of Bay's fetish for military hardware. Soldiers even start landing off the coast. This is the world's quickest deployment in the history of anything. Sam finally manages to reach the nest soldiers, but this action scene is dragged on to the point where I just don't care. It's just a clusterfuck of explosions, robot fatalities, and gunfire. It's just noise, noise, noise! I don't care what's happening to who, I just want the movie to end, and it feels like it never will. As if there wasn't enough robots to keep track of, Jetfire reappears, but so does the Scorpknock from the first movie. The Decepticon you may recall was last seen retreating into the desert. Scorpknock attacks Jetfire and seriously wounds him, but Jetfire kills it.
Too old for this crap.
I know how you feel. Using a radio from one of the crashed helicopters, Simmons runs towards a pyramid which the Devastator is destroying to uncover the sun-destroying weapon, and contacts a ship in the Gulf to use their railgun.
I am directly below. The enemy scrotum.
Oh, what, Film Brain? No, symbolism? You know, to represent Bay's brass balls and seething contempt for everyone who'd paid to see this horseshit? Or perhaps it represents his teabagging of pop culture in modern cinema? Ah, yes, that's it. Choke on that 3.5 out of 5. Me? I'm getting out of here. I'll leave you to deal with John Turturro's wobbly jello ass.
So the ship uses its railgun to fire at Devastator, killing it. The pyramids are seen to be very near to the Gulf. In actuality, there's hundreds of miles between them. But hey, if the movie can't get its own facts straight, what hope does it have for those of real life? Nest signal an airstrike to take care of many of the Decepticons. That means Bay can do what he does best. Shots of planes and shit blowing up real good. Sam, Michaela, Lennox and Epps have to outrun the blast, and Sam gets separated due to his Olympic running skills. Megatron manages to blast Sam as he runs away, killing him. Yes! Shia LaBeouf is dead! We don't have to hear him whine anymore! This is the happy ending I've been waiting for! After the extended humping dick and ball jokes, I guess an F word in an extended toy commercial isn't that offensive by comparison. I thought you were supposed to be taking them to safety! Nice job, Bumblebee! And so Sam is taken to— oh, what the hell? Robot heaven?
You have fought for Optimus with courage and with sacrifice. A leader worthy of our secret. The matrix of leadership is not found, it is earned.
What an absolute crock of shit. That's it, folks. We've gone off the deep end. And the Matrix reassembles itself. Deus Ex Machina in the extreme! I don't get why they did this. It's narratively superfluous. They tell Sam to merge the Matrix with Optimus, and Sam was going to do that already. It's clearly an excuse for them to write themselves out of a corner that they wouldn't even be in if they didn't have the Matrix shatter earlier. So Sam, apparently with very little ill effect from being dead for several minutes, goes over to Optimus and merges the Matrix with his spark, resurrecting him. Our Lord and Saviour has returned. Hallelujah! But here comes the Fallen, who attacks Optimus and captures the Matrix. You know, the Fallen of the title, the big bad guy that has only been in this movie for less than 10 minutes. That's right, him! Yeah, he's a bit crap really, isn't he? As the Fallen uses the Matrix to charge at the weapon, Jetfire decides to sacrifice himself so that Optimus can use his parts and become stronger so he can defeat the two main Decepticons. It's basically an extended fangasm moment, just like every other time Optimus is on screen. The upgrade Optimus basically plays the final fight like he's in bloody God mode. He takes out the weapon before wrestling with the Fallen and Megatron 2-on-1, which he almost entirely dominates, including blowing Megatron's face off. And there goes Megatron's credibility as a villain. That leaves the Fallen, who puts up even less of a fight than Megatron and gets killed off like a wimpy bitch.
Give me your faith.
East!
I rise, you fall.
Ooh, that's clever, because he's the fallen and he falls. Yeah, a lot of effort was put into that one, guys. Actually, come to think of it, the Fallen didn't have much of a revenge, did it? Somehow I don't think that Transformers' Curb Stomp of the Fallen would have been quite as big a hit. Megatron and Starscream retreat with their tails tucked between their legs as Optimus sheds Jetfire's parts. Wait, what? Yep, I'm not gonna need these anymore. Thanks for ripping out your heart, Jetfire. Oh, that's right, you're dead. Luckily, the movie has a mercifully short wrap-up as we move to the credits. What did you make of the movie, Optimus Prime? I thought it was shit. Ha ha ha, I agree. Plot? What plot? It's more like a sieve. It has holes you could drive Optimus Prime through, and it buckles under the weight of the huge cast of characters the film contains. And that's only the human characters. The Transformers feel like co-stars in their own movie, disappearing into the background for long stretches. The movie has endless padding scenes and a ludicrous amount of comic relief characters, which means that the tone is all over the place. And considering this is meant to be a film for kids both young and old, Bay fills the movie with completely inappropriate material that should have been cut from this bloated monstrosity. Not even the action scenes are good. They're too close, too incomprehensible, and too long, meaning that we soon lose interest, if we had any, because we don't know who half the bloody robots are. And before you chastise me for changing my opinion on the movie, so did the filmmakers. Both Bay and LaBeouf have been quoted as saying that the film was a disappointment, and that it's not as good as it should have been. I don't have high hopes for the third movie, and if you see it in 3D, I hope you enjoy the inevitable motion sickness from Bay's hyperkinetic directing style. I'm Matthew Buck, beating down bad. I think I better take that down.
Stay tuned for the Mattel and Mars Bar Quick Energy Chocobo Hour. You can count on us, Mr. President. Major Nougat, Gooey, Coco, put down those entertaining Mattel products. Chocolate away!